our dads and grandfathers' generation didn't grow up talking about feelings and emotion, how to handle that in a healthy manner.
That's right.
So I think like it's also our responsibility, man, to help them navigate their feelings and not have as much trauma as we have at our age.
Welcome to Story Scaling by podcastvideos.com, where creators share the truth behind the content, the grind, and the growth. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, I am Bang of podcastvideos.com, and this is Story Scaling. And I'm here with some good brothers. I got
the Alex Mack.
Got Dapper Dome in the building.
Man, thank you guys for joining me, man.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
glad
appreciate you asking us.
Yeah. Of invitation to the cookout, you know.
Yes,
I know we was gonna get there, but like y'all not.
we trying to follow your lead. Usually we on that side. We just follow your lead.
No, man, these guys have a dope podcast called Invitation to the Cookout. I want to thank you guys so much for joining me. Also, while we get into it, thank you for liking, subscribing. You guys share this with your friends. This is a space for people to come, chop it up about what they do, and share some tips, insights. If you find something that moves you, let us know. If you want to see somebody on the show, let us know. And so, man, I'm going to get into the bio. We jumping straight in. Right. This is what the streets is saying. You got
to see how accurate that is.
Yeah, let's what the streets say.
This is what the streets say right now. Man, it says, today's guests are Alexander McGowan and Don Wilkins, the voices and visionaries behind Invitation to the Cookout. This isn't just a podcast. It's a cultural bridge in Northwest Arkansas designed to foster authentic dialogue, celebrate Black excellence, and invite the broader community into conversations that are often kept behind closed doors. Alex McGowan brings a sharp, strategic perspective to the mic. With a background in business development and community advocacy, Alex is known for his ability to navigate complex social landscapes while keeping the conversation grounded in truth and hospitality. He's a connector who understands that progress starts with a seat at the table, or in this case, the cookout. Don Wilkins balances the duo, with a deep-rooted commitment to community leadership and professional excellence. Dom, known as Dapper Dom, has an aesthetic and high energy with his presence. Dom has built a reputation in the region as a leader who leads by example, whether he's working in the corporate suites or engaging in community outreach. Dom is showing up in style and substance. Friends, this is Dom and Alex, Invitation to the Cookout.
Man,
I like what the streets saying.
Look at that. That's a good research.
Man,
I'm going to have to slip whoever did that for your little money, man. I'll take that.
I got something to live up to.
You know, that's you guys. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But, man, what we like to do on Story Scaling is give the flowers. You know, like you guys
Appreciate it, man.
In the community. Oh yeah, man, it's an honor to recite that to y'all. Cause like I said, that's y'all. I didn't have to put no extras on it. I didn't have to cap on nothing. Like, you know, I'm asking both of y'all this, when you hear that bio about, you know, what you've done or what you do, what kind of sticks out the most to you?
Probably a community piece for me, man. Like I want to be in the community, you know what I mean? Like whether that's working with our community, like we as African Americans, like we knit, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Tight knit around here, but also too, like I like working with the kids too, man. And so bridging both of those things, man, is what sticks out to me as you read my bio.
Yeah, man. Yeah. What about you, Alex?
Community definitely was one that stuck out to me, man. I think, you know, and as you talk through the piece, like it was really about like, what do I have that I can give back?
Sure.
What talents, what knowledge, what things that do we feel like maybe people don't have access to, places that we've been, tables that we've sat at, people that we've interacted with, to be able to take that back and you know, really leave a legacy, right? Like I think we've done a episode about that. Like, hey, when we're gone from here, what were the footprints?
I actually think that's
that we
an
left.
episode. Like,
I think that was, you know, hey, go check that out.
Check it out.
Check that out.
He gonna lace us up at the end. We gonna make sure you know where to find us.
Absolutely. Man, when you think about community, we diving straight in. Like I don't got no 10 steps playing. Like we just chopping it up. Like
let's talk.
When you think about community, both of you guys speak about that as a pillar. You know, where did that come from? Talk to me about even go back, you know, childhood, like where did this sense of
I'll kick it off. I mean, I think for me it's twofold. Like I grew up in a small town, I guess I would say, you know, shout out to Carbondale, Illinois.
Yep.
And for me it was just always being interwoven into the community, whether it was church stuff. My father was an educator, so everyone knew him. He was kind of deep rooted in community. So just seeing that example and seeing the things that a community will do for you, right? Like it's a mutual relationship, right? So you give and you put in, and then they give back to you in ways, and you kind of keep that cycle going. And then the second piece I would say, and I'm very vocal about it all the time, like I'm a product of HBCU, shout out to Alabama A&M. So for me, that was, learning the history of HBCUs and what they were about, and people kind of going there and then bringing their talents back to their communities, whether that was back home or their newfound hometown from being in college. Just really impressed upon me the idea that, what I have is not mine, to keep, but it is to give. So that's my piece.
Yeah. Man, same thing from a small town in Camden, Arkansas. AKA Queen City. Baby. Shout out Queen City. Same thing, man. Church, grew up in the church, man. Also just the community there was small. So, they talk about like it takes a village. You know what I mean? Like you got aunts that's not your aunts. You know what I'm saying? You got friends' moms that become your second mom, and they help raise you, and hey, they see you not doing what you're supposed to do and correcting you. And I think like that being instilled in me and made me who I am today, you know what I mean? And so I'm not back home, but I think I take that piece of me wherever I go. You know what I mean? And I also think, man, just to be honest, I think it's even more important that we live in Northwest Arkansas, and us being Black men or African Americans, whatever you want to call it, and around people that don't look like us. Like I think like it's also my job, man, to help bridge that gap and have those conversations. Sure. You feel what I'm saying? Yeah. So getting in spaces to give a different perspective or understanding, because you might not know, hey, what it was like to grow up Black or just be a Black male in general. So like, hey, you only see one view of the world. And so I think, man, just being out there, not only like coaching, but I think it's just more so like, hey, if I can have somebody say like, oh man, I've had a relationship with a Black male and they gave me this perspective, they taught me this that I didn't know, and then they can go tell their collectives like, hey, we never thought about this because we never had this viewpoint, man. And so I think that's another reason why I just want to be in this community as well, not only for us, our people, but help bridge that gap. I mean, we know the landscape of the U.S. today, bro. Like it's just trash to say the least. And so like, feel like it's part of my duty, man. What can I do in my community? To kind of help bridge that gap.
That's real.
Yeah.
I love it, man. Man, what is community? I feel like now it's a buzzword. You know what I mean? And so like when you think about whether that's, growing up in church or growing up around, a certain group of people. I mean, even like you talk about cousins and brothers and sisters, to some degree, that's community. And so if you could sum it up, I know this is a very broad question, but in your definition, what would you say, it's easy almost to be like, man, you need community, or, go build community. Like what does that actually entail? What are the
what word popped into mind to me, man, for accountability? You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm gonna hold you accountable because I might even see something in you that you don't see. Just like people who we grew up with saw stuff in us and spoke life into us. So accountability comes to mind with me, man. I'm gonna hold you accountable, making sure that you do the right things. And I'm saying I'm perfect. Like that's why I need community to be like, hey, bro, you out of pocket for me. You feel what I'm saying? Yeah. So accountability comes to mind for me.
That's big.
Yeah.
For me, as I kind of thought about that, I really think about it being a mirror, right? Like a community is about being a mirror. We both work with youth, right? So I think it's about giving people a glimpse of, what they could be, right? And ironically, we both, do that through sports, right? But I think the biggest thing is, being able to show, and we don't play sports. We don't do anything professionally with sports. And a lot of the kids that we work with, without a doubt, their hands, all kind of go up when you're talking about being a pro, but also showing them a mirror of, hey, success can look like this, right? Because there's fundamental things that you can learn in sports, whether it's discipline, whether it's hard work, whether it's perseverance. All of these different attributes are transferable to the things that we do whether it's, at work, corporate, whether it's in relationships, whether it's, in this business, reaching out to someone and someone saying, hey, I don't know if your podcast is a fit for me. So rejection, right? So I think being able to show a mirror of there's different points of view in terms of what success look like. It's not just one linear, hey, I went pro, I've been training and doing all this, I went pro, or I didn't, boom or bust type of thing. It's so many different ways to be able to define success in your life. And hopefully us being able to be mirrors of people that is like, hey, I'm not doing that, but I'd like to think, my experience and the people that I've been in front of would lead me to someone to feel like it has had some amount of success.
Yeah, man. I love what both of y'all said. I grew up in a neighborhood where you saw a little bit of everything. So humble beginnings. You got the hoopers over here. Yeah. You got the ones in the streets over here. Sure. You got the ones walking the straight line over here. And that representation was important. When we didn't see those guys that were working the good jobs who weren't athletes, like when we didn't see that, we didn't realize that was even a path to take. It wasn't even attainable. Or you see people that do have the money, but they don't come back to the hood or the community. And so, like both of y'all speak about working with the youth and being that reflection. Yeah. How important is that? Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I think that to maybe back up a little bit, like that's why what you're doing is important. Through this form, through story scaling, right? Because this wasn't available when you were growing up. You had cable, right? Or you had, whatever. If you didn't have cable, you had the antennas, whatever local stations you could get, and that was your mirror, right? So we've all seen the same thing, shown to us. That's right. Hey, either you an entertainer or you a athlete, but there weren't a lot of mirrors of people that were doing journalism, that were doing science, that were doing and now because of the way that media works, there's really no boundaries to it. It's important to reach in all of those different corners and to be able to show like, hey, this is a story, this is a mirror of something that maybe mainstream media is not talking about, but we know that there's examples of it. For me, the youth part of it, that question regarding the youth, man, to me, that's the generation that is going to, take things over when, we're both old and rocking chairs, drinking lemonade and sweet tea on the porch. Like they're going to be the ones that, so you're hoping that you're instilling things in them. And really being part of the solution, right? Like, I think there's a lot of people around like, hey, this generation is, soft and they can't do that. But what are you doing to help with that? Like, if you're just sitting on the sideline, just being old and grouchy, then you're not, making any efforts to kind of help with that piece. And I'd like to think that, we're both trying to be a part of the solution with this generation.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
To piggyback off what you're talking about with the youth, man, I think it's our responsibility too. We've talked about it on our podcast before on our dads and grandfathers' generation didn't grow up talking about feelings and emotion, how to feel that in a healthy manner.
That's right.
So I think like it's also our responsibility, man, to help them navigate their feelings and not have as much trauma as we have at our age. I think that's a huge, big piece of it, that mental piece. You know what I mean? Saying, are you a healthy individual? Because I want you to be mentally strong as a husband, as a wife, give you the mental tools or even just being able to cope with, hey, I lost this job or like the kids are struggling. If you instill those habits of like how to process your emotions in a healthy manner as you get older, like that's going to help you navigate through life. I think like that's the big piece, man. I'm more on the mental piece. Like I tell parents all the time, I'm more focused on developing the person than the player.
Right.
Because you're going to have way more life as a person than you are as an athlete. So like
that's real.
Talk to the person, not the athlete.
That's real, man. That's real. Yeah. When y'all speak, I think y'all familiar with Jason Wilson? The gentleman that got the cave and man. But we're human beings, not human doings. And like you said, the person is significantly more,
Absolutely.
you know what I mean, impactful than just, you know, being a player. Man, let's talk about the cookout.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Let's come on. Let's get into the cookout. And before we go to where you guys are now, I'm really excited about this portion of the conversation because I met you guys when y'all had an idea.
Yes.
Like you ain't have everything all lined out to what it is now. You know what I mean? Yeah. Now y'all popping out like rappers. Got the chain, got the, you know what I'm saying? Don got the jewelry on. Don got the jewelry blinging on. Like, now y'all popping out like rappers. But back then, you know what I'm saying? Y'all just had the beginning. But all jokes aside, man, I remember when y'all came and you were like, man, this is what I see. This is what I want it to be. Yeah. You know what I mean? And so realistically, I want y'all to talk about the entire process of where the idea came from, the name. And then, you know, you get boots to the ground and you start putting stuff out and it ain't no traction. Yeah. And then you gotta diversify your outreach and you gotta change up your like let's go to the beginning, man. Talk about the idea, how it came about and why each other. Okay. Like
This guy. Go ahead, tell him, man.
The beginning. And I've been sitting on that idea for probably at least 2 to 3 years.
Oh wow.
It was something that just kind of came to me. Honestly, it was time that I was having to be introspective and reflective, right? I had just lost our third son. He had just passed away. So I was off from work and I was just like, you know, really kind of in my head having that conversation about like, man, like when it's my time, what are people going to say? What are people going to say about me? And it wasn't, I didn't have an answer, to be honest. Like, I didn't think that it was anything bad, but I was like, I didn't, you know, feel like it was one of those things where it was like, man, like he did this, you know? And so I just started thinking about, you know, what talents that I have, and it really started to come around not so much representation in the media, but I would say misinformation in the media. So for those of you who don't know, I'm a food scientist by trade. I've done product development, work with all different kind of brands, and you would see on social media that people were, you know, making these reels and things about, hey, like this is what healthy means, or this is, you know, this is what goes into a hot dog. And actually a funny story about that piece is I was driving home from work, and around that time I would always kind of listen to Sway in the Morning.
Yep. And
he has these different segments on. And around that time they actually were talking about like just what were in the foods that we eat, but it wasn't like factual. Right. So, you know, that day I was just like,
I know your skin crawling. Like,
yeah, my skin was crawling. Like, man, like we have to do better. And just off the cuff, I was like, man, I'm gonna call up there, but I doubt I even get through. And I actually did get through that more because when you call in, they screen and ask like. So I was like, I'm actually like I do this for a living, so I think that's probably what got me on in the morning. And just like I was able to get on the airwaves and just explain to them like, hey, this is not what it is that you think. And so for me, kind of merging those two things together around like, I feel like my legacy is really about how do I arm people with the right information while showing them somebody that is showing them someone that's in a profession that is not largely talked about. And there's not many that look like me. So those lanes kind of merged, and I was simmering on it and kind of taking notes. And then him and I started working together about 5 years ago in 2021. And I saw him at work around lunchtime, and he would have his, you know, stuff out. And
what he was eating?
No, he was working on stuff.
Oh, okay.
He was working, and I was just like, I just was curious. So I was like, man, what you working on? And he's like, man, I'm studying for this, test. He was kind of working on his, all his training certifications and stuff. And so, so a couple days went by, and then boom, just like they say, the light, I was like, because I had been thinking like, who can help me get this message? Because I'm very big on credibility, right? So I'm a food scientist. Yeah. That's my lane. My lane is not to talk about healthcare. My lane is not to talk about training and coaching because I don't got that blue check mark in that space. I got a blue check mark in what I've done. And so it was just like, man, I think this is the guy. And so we started talking, and we just got close personally first. And then some months had passed, and I was just we had been talking about his stuff, and I just was like, hey, this is an idea that I'm thinking about. Like, what do you think? Like, what would you?
And then he said the name. He was like, I already got a name. I was like, what's the name? He's like, Invitation to the Cookout. I said, oh yeah, that's fire. Yeah, I was like, that's fire, bro. Yeah.
And that was really kind of how it got birthed from there. And then we had started talking, and I'm a planner, so we had started,
and stuff,
going through all kind of stuff, and we kind of hit a dead end, and we were like, man, I don't know. And then we actually were both here in this complex to see a football game. It was the Lions and the Cowboys that night, and then I came downstairs to my car, and you guys had the podcast video, signage up, and I was like, and we have been looking, for months to find a place, and we were just like, maybe we'll buy our own equipment. And that was really just like I called him and was like, hey, I was like, and he was like, we were saying this because it was around New Year's.
So it was actually right around when he saw it I think it was right before New Year's, but then we talked maybe like the first couple of days after New Year. He's like, hey man, I saw that spot. He's like, man, I'm not a big resolutions guy, man. He was like, man, but my word just keep popping in my head is action. I was like, mine too, bro.
Yes.
I was
true story.
mine too. He was like, man, I think we just need to start. I think we're thinking about it too much. Let's see, what they do, and then let's just start, man. We'll figure it out, as we go. And so that's how it was just like he connected with you guys, man. And so we connected with y'all, and y'all kind of gave us a little hey, let's get a few episodes. I think we shot 6 before we actually aired. Yeah. Because it was we want you guys to give you guys time to continue to get your content so you can be consistent with your time. And so that's how it got started. And we still learning, man. We still growing. Naturally, we actually took a break the first year because unexpectedly, me and my wife got pregnant with our second, but total third son. So he was like, man, we'll just take a break, man, while you get your bearings on the new kid. Yep. And then we started back back again, did Christmas episode, and then got back rolling. And then this year, I think we just decided, since last year we took a little break during that September to Christmas time frame, that maybe that might be our natural break. I don't know whether we're gonna do that going forward, because like I said, man, we want to be consistent with the audience, and we don't want to lose that engagement, and traction that we have been getting. But I've jumped way ahead, man. But no, it's been a journey. I don't know whether you have any questions, but
this is good. I want to kind of hear naturally where you go, and I also want you to specifically speak about that beginning process. You know what I'm saying? Because now they see you shining, but they didn't see you when you was grinding. Talk a little bit about some of those first. You know what I mean?
I would say, man, anybody who's probably just trying to decide whether they're gonna start a podcast or whatever, your voice matters. You know what I mean? And you have an audience. Everybody's not gonna like your show, and I think sometimes, I know for myself, I don't know about for Alex, that I think about that too much. What is somebody gonna think if I say this, or what's somebody's opinion going to be about the topic that we're talking about? But gotta realize you ain't for everybody. And so just being comfortable is hey, this is my message. This is what I want to put out. And as long as it's factual, right? You know what I'm saying? Especially if you're trying to give advice about something, as long as you have facts to back that up, then just start. You know what I mean? What
I'm with Dom. I've heard similar stories of people that are hey, I had this idea, and you just kind of paralyze yourself with hey, what if no one tunes in, or what if I only get 5 views, or what if my biggest thing is just really understand what you're bringing to the space. Yeah. Right? There are a lot of people out here with mics and cameras. And we used to talk about this when we worked together, understand what makes you unique. Yeah. Right? That was our biggest piece, is what makes us unique, right? And so we, ironically enough, as two people that work in sports and are big into sports, like we didn't want to go that lane. And there's no knock to that. It's just when you're doing your research, like there are a lot of sports podcasts and there's a lot of Black men that are heading up those sports podcasts. And I think the whole thing that we wanted to be was like, you can be successful in life without having your identity attached to sports, right? Like you can work corporate, you can be an executive, you can be a lawyer, you can be anything, you can be in the trades, right? And be an business person and an entrepreneur. But I think we felt our unique selling point is that you have somebody that's a scientist, right? That probably we don't see a lot of Black men. I think we also have in our mind imagery that's being reinforced on us, right? So the image has told us that a scientist looks like this.
Yeah.
They look like this way and they dress like this way. And we wanted to be big about being authentic to ourselves.
Ain't got no fly.
You the only
lemon drop. Ain't wanting no lemon drop.
You the only scientist with the lemon on, man. The other scientists could never put that on.
So, but it's about authenticity, right? Like it's about, because that was one of the things, for me, growing up was, and being now is that I want to be authentic to myself. I don't want to be like, okay, I mess around with my kids and my wife. Like I don't dress like a dad.
Yeah.
I don't dress like someone that's a dad or the dads that I have seen, or even the imagery that we've seen, right? But I think it's about being able to show kids like you can be authentic to yourself,
right,
and still be able to reach the magnitude of success that you want.
Yeah.
And so I think that's why we were, and we'll talk about it. We'll say we got to keep the main thing, because that's what's going to continue to make us, relevant in this space, is what I believe.
Yeah, man. Yeah. I seen the coolest thing when y'all got started, because y'all were on one accord about everything. You know what I'm saying? Like, man, we gonna come this day, we gonna do this, we gonna put our shorts. All right, they're not working, we're gonna check. Like, it was always kind of growing and evolving. And so now they say the top of one mountain is just the bottom of another. So now y'all done started the show, y'all got it rolling, and you at a point now. So now looking back, what would you tell first episode Alex and Dom? Like, from this place that y'all in now, like what would you, you know what I mean? Like what advice, insight, would you give your early podcast creator? I
think what he said, man, just be your authentic self. Like, don't try to be, just because these cameras on, like, don't try to be somebody else and you feel like somebody else gonna like. Yeah. Like, just be yourself. Yeah. I ain't gonna quote Bernie Mac right now.
Yeah, I was kind of going in that same realm in terms of, I would kind of say, like, don't worry about being perfect. Yeah. Right? Like, don't, like, I know we, again, we're very big on trying to, make sure that we are bringing good, facts to the table, right? And so I know there's some, I think the story, like when we first started, is like we would try to pretty much go all the way off the top of the dome with everything, right? With facts and stuff. And I'm like, shoot, I've seen people pull stuff up on their phones and check stuff. And it's like, but that makes us feel relatable, right? Because there's always times when you're telling a story, you're like, man, I forgot that rapper's name. Or I forgot this. Yeah. You bring your phone, you Google it up. Yeah. So I think it was like, at the beginning, it was like, man, we got to be buttoned up and we got to, go down these points. And it's like, man, just let it flow and like let our natural character show. Yeah. And, hopefully as people have tuned in, they've seen our credibility, but it's also about understanding that, because we're not trying to be perfect, we are going to mess up. We might say something wrong, but hopefully we've accrued enough credibility that people are like, hey, we want to rock with these people because of, what they believe in and what they have behind them, right?
Yeah, man. Talk about the process, because I agree with you. I think everybody has a voice. Yeah. And because everybody has a voice, we sometimes think that anybody could just come up here on the mic and talk. You know what I mean? And they don't realize, like, nah, bro, it's a little work that goes into it. It's just like anything else. And so,
I think what you just said, like understanding, like, hey, you're not just up here talking. Like, you need to figure out, like, all right, this is gonna be an idea for episode 1, having an idea for episode 2, 3, 4. That way, like, there's some structure to your podcast or your show. You know, understand, like, who do I want on as a guest, or what do we want to talk about? Have some type of outline. You know what I'm saying? Use that business mindset, that strategy. Like, hey, what do we want to do this year?
Yeah,
and just have a plan in place. Not saying you can't pivot,
right?
But at least have some type of plan in place instead of saying, like, hey, I'm gonna go in the studio. We're gonna talk this week. Hey, 2 weeks later, we're gonna come back. We're gonna talk whatever come top of mind. You know what I mean? And so, having some type of structure in place, for sure to start.
Yeah, I think you definitely. To me, I like to plan. Right?
Yeah.
Like, I think there's a balance between not being perfect and being sloppy. You know what I'm saying? To me personally, right? So I do think that you do have to have a balance between, hey, I've done my research. I understand what this guest is about and areas that they want to be there. There definitely is a planning process that I think that you should go through. But I think it also has to be tied to what are your goals with your product, right? Like, if it's just a hobby and you don't care.
Yeah, I want to vent.
You just want to vent, then cool. Yeah. If you're like trying to grow this into something that's recognized, if you're trying to get deals, if you're trying to get
what's my target audience,
right, all of that, then you gotta put a little bit more, behind it, right? And I think it goes back to the stuff that we try to talk about in the work that we do. Like, it takes discipline, like it takes, perseverance. It takes, all those different things. It takes social skills, right? Being able to talk to people. It takes negotiating, like all these different things that we've learned in different stops we're using, as we run, Invitation to the Cookout.
Yeah, man. What podcast are y'all on? What number? As far as episode,
I think we're close to. We have to be around 30
something.
Yeah, right around that third, low 30s number.
So 80% of podcasts don't make it to episode 3. 80%.
Wow,
really?
80, and it might be higher now.
Wow.
But we talk about like podcasting as though it's this super oversaturated market. Everybody have a podcast. No, like. You should see the number of podcasts that don't even get past that episode 3. And so you guys, by and large, are in the minority of what we would consider successful podcasts. Just because, it's not even about metrics, analytics. Like, you guys made it past that. You're still doing it, And so we, as podcastvideos.com, love working with you guys because it's been like you said, consistent, even with your breaks. Like, y'all come in, y'all show up, y'all got y'all plan, y'all, know what you're doing. Yeah. Talk about for you, because y'all do the editing, you know what I mean? And the shorts, and we got the space and y'all record. Like, talk about almost the relationship between being able to work with us, but also what y'all have been able to own and do on your own, and how that's either helped or what you've grown in that process.
Yeah. I think, man, speaking from my perspective, y'all have been really, like, we've been growing together. You know what I'm saying? Like, as you guys try to do new things, and we kind of like, well, we thinking about like shooting this podcast at the barbershop. Like, y'all bring y'all mobile cameras and mics.
Yeah.
And like, let's learn, like, because even like me thinking about that episode, we kind of figured out like we had a window that we needed to like close. You know what I'm saying? Like, just learning together.
That's good.
Being able to use, you guys got 3 different spaces. Like, we've shot, well, this is our first time in this one, but now we've been in all three spaces. And just, you guys bring a versatility to where it's like, hey, if we're trying to shoot with somebody who's not here, we got that room in there. Of course, we love the lounge, man. Like, I just feel like that's just home.
Yeah.
Look, this right here feels super official too. I feel like I'm after the game press. Next question. So I think we've just both been like just flexible, and even with the breaks we've taken, you guys were like, all right, whenever you guys get ready to start back up, let us know. We'll get back rolling. So
I think for me, the word I think about is partnership, right? Like that's what it feels like, right? Like obviously you guys are business, right? So we have to make sure that we're fulfilling the business part of the relationship, but there's a lot of flexibility. There's a lot of like what he said, hey, we have this new equipment. Let's try this out. You know, even the conversations around utilization of the spaces and what you guys are thinking about in the future. And it kind of helps us, you know, think about our vision and how we want to get things done.
Yep.
And I also think, you know, we're able to learn from some of the things that you guys are doing, whether it's how you guys are using your social media, what resources and tools and websites and apps you guys are using, different things. You guys have been really good about being open and sharing and saying, hey, like you can use this. And so I know that's been a big part of our process, from especially starting at the beginning to now, like just being able to get a little bit more efficient with the editing and scheduling and all those different things. So I think it's been a very fruitful partnership between the two of us for sure.
I love it, man.
We about to go place in 2026.
Oh yeah.
Look, I'm telling you,
we're gonna take off like X and A.
I'm already knowing.
Off from X and A.
we're about to do numbers.
I'm already knowing. Hey. Man, I wanna thank y'all for y'all time, man.
Appreciate you inviting us, man. Yeah, for thinking about us.
Before we even get out of here, I wanna know for you, what's your biggest tip? Your biggest tip, insight, encouragement. You've been in this 30 episodes. You started it from zero and now you're at a place. So for that person that's watching this that wants to say something, wants to start a podcast, wants to, you know, insert anything, like what do you say to that person of man, keep this in mind or be mindful of this, or, you know, what's that? I know it's a lot of gems you could give, but if you could kind of put it in a nugget, what would the main thing be?
I think what I talked about earlier, man, like start with some type of structure, but then don't be so tied to it that you can't pivot. You know what I'm saying? So have some structure, be flexible to pivot. Like you said, like we're learning, like sometimes like post the things and drawing the most audience. Oh, now it's reels. You know what I'm saying? Oh, now you got to put music behind it.
Absolutely.
Like, so understand, like being able to pivot, like what's going to attract the most the views and what's going to get people to my page, like understand and be able to pivot when those things happen.
That's real.
Yeah.
That's real.
That's a good one. I think for me, man, do your research.
And
do some research.
Yeah.
Right? Like don't let it prohibit you from starting feeling like you have to have everything. But I do feel like, you know, there's some things that you want to know at the beginning, right? And it could be just as simple as just some questions around like, who am I? What am I? When I get behind that mic, what am I wanting people to hear? When I get in front of that camera, what do I want people to see, right? Because I think it helps you understand how to be true to yourself.
Yeah.
Right? Like, and we've had conversations about that behind the scenes. Like, we're not here trying to be anyone else. And we respect a lot. We look at and listen to a lot of other podcasts and probably pull a few things.
Right.
At the end of the day, we have to be ourselves, and you got to catch yourself when you feel like you're drifting to try to achieve something else, right? And it's easy. Yeah. It's easy to be like, man, we only got 25 views on this thing. Like, maybe we should talk about something controversial. Yeah. We're not shock jocks. We're not here to be talking about, you know, what's wrong in the dating world. Like, that's not that ain't our lane. And so just being comfortable with that piece and understanding, I would probably add another piece into that is understanding to you, what does success mean? Because it keeps you, you know, we in Black History Month, Martin Luther King said, keep your eyes on the prize. It keeps your eyes on that, and you don't start veering and saying, oh man, they doing this, like this is viral. Like, let me go over here and get, 10,000 views. It's like, no, because I do eventually believe that you will be rewarded. Yeah. Because the right people will find you. Yeah. Right. There's so many, I don't know how many people there are in the world, but I know it's billions. Absolutely. Right. So there's enough for us, a billion is a lot. Yeah. So if you could say, hey, each podcast, you can have 100,000 viewers, 100,000 people that subscribe. Yeah. on the scale of billions, that don't sound like a lot. But if you go to a college football stadium and you get 100,000 people in there, you'll see that that's quite a lot of people. So I think it's sometimes we get caught up in that comparison of, oh man, they did $1 million on that view, or they're talking about this, and we don't think that's about nothing, but they're exploding all over the place. Hey, who am I? What's my voice? What am I trying to say? And stay on that path while being flexible, but staying true to who you are.
Man, what you just said reminded me. I seen somebody say, like, we just get caught up. It was like, I post something, man, like, oh man, I only got 25, 30 likes. It was like, but what if 25 or 30 people told you they liked your outfit?
Somebody just said that to me.
You know what I'm saying? In real life.
You'd have a crazy day.
You'd be like, hey, you know how many people?
It really changed your month. Like, that's going to change some stuff.
Yeah. But like,
perspective. That's exactly what it is.
Yeah, man.
Man. Hey, I wish I had a little, sound machine. I be driving some man, where can we follow y'all personally? Where can we follow the page? What's next for you? Put it all out there.
Yeah, invitation to the cookout. I'm pretty sure you'll probably put the tag up there.
Yep.
It's
invitation number 2.
Yeah, the cookout. Yep. And I'm Dapper Dumb. I use Dapper_Dumb 24.
Yeah.
Let me I'll tell you.
Yeah. Why he's getting that right, because we ain't trying to be perfect. Invitation to the cookout everywhere. We're on TikTok. We're on IG. You can find us visually. So we do visual podcasts through YouTube. You can find us through your earwaves, Apple Podcasts,
YouTube,
Spotify, YouTube,
all of the above.
iHeart. So.
Subscribe to all of them.
Yeah,
subscribe to all of them.
Everything.
Turn on your notifications too. That way you ain't even got to
subscribe.
Hey, have they posted something? It's gonna let you know.
Yeah.
Cookout. And it is Dapper_Dumb 24. Yeah, that's my personal. Yeah.
Find me at the Alex Mack.
Yeah.
Man, this was a blessing to have you boys on the
appreciate
podcast.
you. Yeah.
We'll do it again.
Absolutely, man. Absolutely.
Forward to it, man. Much love. Appreciate it.
Appreciate it, man.
We'll see y'all again, man.
Yes, sir.